You are listening to SPN, the Sports Podcasting Network.
يلي من هناك لشوارزنيجر
Va a pegarle Ronaldinho Gaucho. Ya lo hace. Pierna derecha, directo al arco. ¡Golazo! 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 ¡Golazo!
This is Soccer Today, live on SPN Radio, your new live show about the beautiful game in all its glory, with Duane, Rollins and Kevin Laramee. MLS, EPL, La Liga, Champions League, all is fair game. Powered by the Sports Podcasting Network. Visit us at sportspodcastingnetwork.com.
And good day, good night. Welcome to Soccer Today. I'm Kevin Laramee, and today it's Wednesday, July 19th. Major League Soccer is back tonight. Gold Cup knockout stage starts tonight as well. Yesterday in Montreal, you had the presser by Adam Braz, like the mid-season scrum, basically. And the Duane was pretty much kind of announced. Yes, it's not official, but it will be made official in the next few days. Duane, 22-year-old central defender, playing for Verona from Bologna on loan, might be loaned to Montreal for the rest of the season. But the Major League Soccer All-Star roster is official. It is announced, and there's some kind of controversy brewing because, well, some teams like the Philadelphia Union are not even represented. The first time since 2015, second time in their history that they do not have a representative at the Major League Soccer All-Star game. Let's just look at the roster quickly. All right, let's start with the forwards. Commissioner's pick, Josie Altidore of Toronto FC will be in the roster. Another commissioner's pick, Dom Dwyer of Sporting Kansas City, after his U.S. men's national team debut and Gold Cup debut as well for the USA. Commissioner Don Garber has decided to choose him and Josie Altidore for the team that will be facing Real Madrid on August 2nd in Chicago, presented by Target. Sebastian Giovinco is the third forward as well. A FIFA 17 winner, more goals scored with Giovinco than anybody else. His third time at the All-Star game for the Toronto forward. Maybe the best player in the league this year so far. Slowly but surely, Nemanja Nikolic. First MLS All-Star game. He's a Fan 11 selection, but Golden Boot leader right now. 16 goals, 4 game-winning goal, 8 goal per 90 at .87, which basically means that most game than not, he'll score a goal. David Villa as well as a forward. Third time All-Star for New York City FC. He's going to be a legend when he's finished with New York, of course. The way he's been playing the last 2 years and a half since he joined the league, he's been lights out, and it's quite impressive the way Villa continues to find a way to be dominant on the pitch in Major League Soccer, find ways to be effective. If it's not scoring, it's with assisted. This year, 12 goals, 6 assists so far for David Villa. The key, the backbone, the soul of New York City FC. Midfielders, Kellyn Acosta was the second commissioner's pick. I mentioned Altidore beginning. That was a little miscue. It is Kellyn Acosta. So those two players that are back from the Gold Cup for the U.S. men's national team, made their debut for their national team, now will make an appearance in Chicago. His second appearance in a Major League Soccer All-Star game for Kellyn Acosta. 3 goals, 2 assists, but it's more in the fashion and then the results for Kellyn Acosta, which would include his decision. You kind of need some players to represent the youth, the young crop of U.S. players, and that's why Kellyn Acosta will be at least on the bench against Madrid. Now, Fan 11 as well, Miguel Almiron, it's a no-brainer for Atlanta. He's been lights out this season. Yeah, it hasn't been as easy in the second part of the first half, yes, of the season. But Atlanta, still, the 23-year-old led Atlanta to an impressive first season as the club has scored 39 goals already, tops in MLS, and Almiron 8 goals, 8 assists, not too shabby. Michael Bradley of Toronto FC, midfielder, third time in the Major League Soccer All-Star. For him, passing accuracy, he's going to be needed there, going to be needed in the midfield to reassure the defense side and transition side against a Real Madrid. That yes, it's an off-season game for Real Madrid. It's an exhibition type of game for Real Madrid, but it's a game that you kind of need to exert yourself and ramp up preparation heading into the next few weeks of preparation after the Major League Soccer game for Madrid. Joe DeSantos of LA is third time at an All-Star game, 6 goals, 1 assist this season. So far, he's going to be an important piece in the attacking midfield. Kaká, fan 11 as well, 3 goals, 4 assists. Maybe didn't really deserves to be there for his season this year. Orlando's having a very good season, so it makes sense. But that's what you get when you have a fan vote. You do have some outliers. You do have some players that are voted in that by definition would not necessarily be a starting 11. But when you're looking at it, the next player, I think, is a no-brainer. He was chosen by the coach, Valko Paunovic. Chicago midfielder at home now, Dax McCarthy. Maybe the best player for Chicago this year. Like, yes, Nikolic, Schweinsteiger have helped the supporter shield leader right now this season a lot. But Dax McCarthy has been the most effective off-season roster move, I feel, in the entire league. How he reassured the midfield for Chicago, literally stopping attacks, the transition, making sure that he's there to block some, intercept some passes as well, but to make sure the shape stays the same. Like, his leadership. When I say leadership, is literally telling his colleagues, his teammates, where to go, when to go, what to do. Sometimes it's the nonverbal too, but it's the communication, that aspect of the midfield game of Dax McCarthy that really raised the level of the Chicago Fire this year so far, and is one of the biggest reasons with Schweinsteiger, but especially with the Golden Boot leader Nikolic, all three together. It has made a big difference. Hopefully, Chicago Fire attracts even more fans and starting to build. The momentum is starting to be seen, felt, and I can't wait to be in Chicago in 2 weeks. I will be in Chicago for the MLS All-Star game, and I will try to get the feeling of the Chicago Fire fan support to see if the ones that were alienated are coming back, and that's what you want to see. You want to see the stadium full again. You want to see people going crazy for Bastian Football Meister Schweinsteiger and for Nikolic. So hopefully the great season and the great presence of Dax McCarthy at the Major League Soccer All-Star game will help the fans to go back to Toyota Park. Ignacio Piatti, the sole representative of the Montreal Impact in the senior Major League Soccer All-Star, Balou Tabla will be representing the Impact in the homegrown game. But Piatti makes his second consecutive All-Star team as he currently has a team-leading 8 goals scored along with 3 assists in 2017. The Argentine playmaker finished last season tied for third in Major League Soccer with 17 goals in addition to 6 assists. And apparently he is on the mend. His adductor injury is almost fully healed. He has started to be back on practice yesterday. He's not going to be available against Philly on Wednesday, but will be available during the weekend when Montreal plays Dallas Saturday at Stade Saputo. Yes, Blair and Zamali could have been in that conversation, but Blair and Zamali needed like another month and a half or 2 months to really establish himself in an all-star. Like, it's too short of a window. He got here early June, so you kind of only have a month and a half of him playing to see the difference, see his implication, to see if he can actually be a Major League Soccer All-Star team. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if next year and moving forward, Zamali will be an All-Star. But this year, Nacho Piatti will be. And no Patrice Bernier at the All-Star game, there was a ground support campaign starting on Twitter a few weeks ago, hashtag Bring Pat to Chicago, to celebrate the captain of the Montreal Impact last season, to celebrate his recent accomplishment. And, well, on the pitch, he kind of deserves to be there. He's one of the best midfielders in the league this year, hands down, by performance. So his choice would not have been necessarily a out of nowhere choice by the head coach. It wasn't decided that way. And Don Garber, with his only two selections, went with U.S. men's national team side. So unfortunately, no Patrice Bernier. The bring back good work to go footy yourself and to go foot yourself and to Lizzie and everybody at MFC Nation, everyone that follows the Impact on social media that really went hard with that campaign. Could have worked, should have worked. It maybe got close. We don't know. We'll make sure that next time we want to do so, we'll include as well a FIFA campaign because that's how Jamaica got the nod. It was like 3 million goals or something that were scored by Javinko on FIFA during the allotted time. Maybe we need to score goals with Patrice Bernier. And again in the midfield, Bastian Schweinsteiger, an all-star, first all-star, his first season in Major League Soccer, 2 goals, 5 assists. It hasn't been as easy lately than his beginning, but he is doing the work. He's maybe gone a little deeper than at his first few games with the Fire, but you do see the result in the team result. You do see his influence in how Nikolic is playing. Who expected Nikolic to have 16 goals? I don't think Schweinsteiger's presence is a coincidence with the statistics of Nikolic. 5 assists for Bastian, but sometimes they're not calculated as assists, but it's still the play that was created by the Meister. Diego Valeri's 4th All-Star game and the last midfielders in the Major League Soccer All-Star team. The Argentine midfielder makes his 3rd MLS All-Star appearance, 2014 and 2016 before, and is one of 2 players to rank in the top 5 in both goals scored this season. In 4 of his 5 seasons with Portland, Valery has registered double-digit goals totals every year. Goals 10 right now and assists 7 for Diego Valeri. Moving on to the defenders of the Major League Soccer All-Star team that will face Real Madrid on August 2nd in Chicago. DeMarcus Beasley is one of the defenders, his 5th time in the All-Star team, a Fan 11 selection, 23 interceptions so far with a passing accuracy of 83.4. Great statistics for the U.S. men's national team international player DeMarcus Beasley. Greg Garza, another Atlanta United representative, his first Major League Soccer All-Star selection, 37 interceptions, 27 tackles won, a lot of great defending statistics, and Atlanta has been a little more difficult lately, and that's one of the reasons why he has so much statistics is because he had to defend a lot. Hernan Grana of Dallas, first Major League Soccer All-Star selection, the Argentinian right back has come into his own at FC Dallas this season, providing 2 assists in his 15 matches started. Grana has played 11 seasons and registered over 200 matches played in the Argentine First Division, suiting up for the likes of Lanús, Boca Juniors, and All Boys. 26 interceptions, 21 tackle ones. He is his first MLS All-Star game, earning Grana defender for Dallas. Dallas is a perennial contender lately, and playing alongside him probably another first-time All-Star selection, Matt Hedges. A great story in MLS. He's been playing great for a few years. I remember when I first really was involved in the fantasy side of the game, when you play with your roster a few years ago. This year it's kind of different, and it kind of lost some of its lackluster, and that's why we saw the numbers of people playing drop a lot. But over the last few years, how it was set up, Matt Hedges was one of my go-to defenders, and we see why. 37 interceptions, 68 clearances for Matt Hedges, FC Dallas defender. Again, another defender, another player from Chicago, the 3rd selection from the Chicago Fire. The 23-year-old defender, John Kappelhoff, from the Netherlands, has started in 18 matches for Top of the League Chicago this season, registering 3 assists in the process. A product of the famous Ajax Academy. Kappelhof previously suited up for FC Groningen, tallying 123 games in Holland's top division and 8 in the UEFA Europa League. 52 interceptions so far this year for Kappelhof, 81 clearances as well. Great stats for the defender of the Fire. One of the reasons why Atlanta had a great beginning of the season was because of the contribution of experienced veterans in Major League Soccer. Michael Parkhurst was one of those. 31 interceptions, 87 clearances for the defender from United, and he will be as well in the Major League Soccer All-Star game, is 5th in his career. Jelle Van Dam of the Galaxy is 2nd All-Star game, 30 interceptions, 81 clearances for the Dutch defender. Van Dam makes his for the Belgian defender. Van Dam makes his 2nd consecutive appearances in the MLS All-Star game with 1 goal and 1 assist in 15 games started for the Galaxy this season. The defender had a tremendous debut season for LA in 2016, finishing as a finalist for Major League Soccer Defender of the Year and Newcomer of the Year honors after registering 4 assists in 28 matches started, 30 interceptions, 81 clearances, a coach's pick for the All-Star game. Jelle Van Dam. A Fan 11, Graham Zusi, defender, a member of the MLS Best 11 in 2012 and 2013. Graham Zusi has spent the entirety of his 9-year career with Sporting Kansas City. Zusi has made a transition from midfielder to defender, helping Sporting Kansas City to the current top spot in the Western Conference standings, behind a stout defense that has allowed a league low 14 goals this season. Compared to Montreal's 39, which is the worst in the league, there's a big difference. Interceptions, 25. Passing accuracy, 85%. Graham Zusi is a Fan 11 selections. Moving on to the goalkeepers. Coach's choice, Stephen Fry of the MLS Cup defending champions, the Seattle Sounders. Fry makes his first appearance as an MLS All-Star a season after helping Sounders FC to an MLS Cup title with the famed fingertip save against Toronto in the season finale, a performance that won him MLS Cup MVP honors in 2016. This season, Fry has starting in 19 games for Seattle, putting forth 5 shutout appearances in the process, 1.47 goals against average, and a save percentage of 64.6 for Stephen Fry. Fan 11 selection from the Colorado Rapids goalkeeper Tim Howard of the U.S. men's national team as well. His 3rd Major League Soccer All-Star appearances. Howard makes his 3rd appearance as an MLS All-Star, 2001, 2002 prior, also earning All-Star MVP honors in 2009 while with Everton FC. Howard was previously named to the MLS Best 11 in 2001 and 2002 and captured the FA Cup title in 2004 with Manchester United. 1.62 goals against average for Tim Howard and a save percentage of 63.9. And this wraps up the Major League Soccer 2017 All-Star roster presented by Target. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at the games on the docket for tonight. It's a Soccer Wednesday. It's Soccer Wednesday on Soccer Today. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Soccer Today, live on SPN Radio. Visit sportspodcastingnetwork.com for more.
After almost 2 weeks of break, Major League Soccer is back tonight with some games, as well as the Gold Cup after a few days of rest. The knockout stage is set to start tonight as well in Philadelphia. Costa Rica, Panama is the first game of the night, 6 p.m. It's going to be a good game, Costa Rica, Panama. Kind of want Panama to go through because I feel, or Costa Rica, Canada had good results against Costa Rica. It doesn't matter. On the other side of the draw anyways. Montreal, Philadelphia. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Montreal desperately needs a win. Philly needs results. Philly's missing players from the Gold Cup, so is Montreal. Battle of teams who wants to get back into contention in the Eastern Conference for a playoff spot tonight at Stade Saputo at 7:30. The New York Red Bulls against the Quakes at 7:30 at Red Bull Arena as well. It's an interesting matchup. The Quakes made a few transitions. Sean Francis will be back with Montreal after the Gold Cup, and that's an interesting transition and roster move for Montreal because, well, they need help in the flanks, especially the flanks of the back line, the fullback position. Talking about the left back position, especially Sean Francis will fill the void left by Oyongo's injury. And Montreal should be all the best for it now, having what they need, which is depth. The depth of Montreal was basically eliminated due to injury. Now they're probably going to be back in the next few weeks. NYCFC, Toronto FC on the road, going to Yankee Stadium to face the Citizens. Interesting matchup here. Because Toronto's stripped of a few good elements, but Toronto always talks about their depth. And tonight, it'll be one of those rare opportunities where the depth of Toronto FC will be tested. And it will be tested against NYCFC. Against on a small pitch where technique, where team play can really make a big difference. We'll see how that goes for TFC tonight. Another game is Minnesota-Houston. Minnesota, a team like Philadelphia with no representative at the All-Star game. Not surprising how they started, but it's surprising how they've turned things around, and I'm surprised to not have maybe a Christian Ramirez or something similar to that at the All-Star game. But Minnesota United, Houston, tonight at 8. All those games, by the way, are available either on MLS Live, FS1 for the Gold Cup. So that's the other important part here. US Salvador tonight, 9 p.m. FS1 as well. Quarterfinals of the Gold Cup. Who will move on? United States, massive favorite in this game with the return of Jose Altidore, Michael Bradley, and company. If you're a betting man, don't go for the underdog because I don't think there's any chance whatsoever for tonight for El Salvador to pull an upset. For American listeners, I believe you're moving on to the semis. LA Galaxy, Vancouver Whitecaps, 10:30 p.m. Eastern on TSN1. Vancouver needs to continue their trend, to maybe get a result here and there, to continue their march around that red line and keeping that position in sight. In Vancouver, if they get a result tonight, the Galaxy are well, there's possibilities against them. Some players missing because of Gold Cup. Some, as well, players not necessarily in best form. So for Vancouver, they're going to LA. And last time they played against each other was a cracker of a game, Vancouver taking the nod. I do feel tonight same thing might happen at StubHub. Vancouver on the road might be going for the 3 points. Portland, RSL. Portland, 10:30 p.m. Eastern on MLS Live against RSL. RSL is surprising lately, kind of like a resurgence under Mike Pecky last few weeks. Going to Portland. Portland, always tough to beat at home. We'll see how this game unfolds. Seattle, DC United, last game tonight, 10:30 p.m. Eastern as well on MLS Live. If you are a night owl, like I am tonight, you are served. It's Soccer Wednesday night. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. And that's without talking about the Asia Trophy that was just played a few hours ago between Liverpool and Crystal Palace somewhere in China. In Asia, I don't know. 1-0 Liverpool, I believe it's finished. Solanke scored. Former Chelsea player. Decided to go to Liverpool to get more playing time. We'll see what happens. But a lot of soccer today. On Soccer Today. And we'll be back tomorrow to talk about soccer on Soccer Today. Hopefully, Duane will be back tomorrow as well. Until then, you can follow me on Twitter at 24th Minute and on Facebook at facebook.com/Kev Laramee. My Twitter is at Kev Laramee as well. at Soccer Today SPN, the show, at SportsPodNet. That's a lot of Twitters. Just go to the web. You know that URL tab that we barely use anymore. sportspodcastingnetwork.com. And as always, until tomorrow, have a great soccer. You were listening to SPN, the Sports Podcasting Network. Visit us, sportspodcastingnetwork.com.